Hello everyone and welcome to CSCI 135, Introduction to Programming. My name is Corey Nance and I'll be your instructor this semester. So I wanted to make this video so that I could go ahead and introduce myself to you as well as go over the course syllabus. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said, my name is Corey Nance. I'm from the Myrtle Beach area. I actually attended Coastal Carolina University and graduated with a BS in computer science. Afterwards, I went and worked as a software developer and database analyst and systems administrator for a while, as well as went back to school at Georgia Southern and earned a master's degree in computer science. For the past 3 years, I've been working here at CCU as a lecturer, and am currently pursuing a doctorate degree in cybersecurity at Dakota State University. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the course syllabus. You can find that right here on Moodle underneath the Getting Started section. Okay, so as I said, this is CSCI 135, Introduction to Programming. Section is FD1, and this is for the academic term 2017 Fall 1. There's no prerequisites for this course, so there's no assumed knowledge of or prior knowledge of programming. Here's my contact information. The best way to get to me is probably via email, but you could also call my office at this number. Additionally, I like to try to use Slack, especially for online classes. Slack provides a chat environment if you're not familiar with that, and you can go in and join different channels that are kind of like chat rooms. So at my Slack, I have different channels set up for the different classes that I teach each semester. So if you sign up there, you can go in and add yourself to the CSCI 135 Fall 17 channel. And in there, you can have discussions amongst yourselves about the content, or you can ask me questions. Really just up to you, and it's there to give you that collaborative environment that you may be missing otherwise in an online class. So my office location is AOC 237. So AOC 2 is a new building here on campus. It's academic office and classrooms 2. It's located in between Swain and the Wall building. My office hours are Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to noon, and then on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Additionally, if those times don't work out, you can reach out to me and we can make an appointment. If need be, I could even set up a Skype session or something like that, and we could collaborate that way. The textbook for this course is a Zybook. I like to describe it as an interactive ebook. It's a little bit more than just an ebook. And I'll go over the Zybook and the Moodle tour. But to get signed up for it, you can follow these instructions here. You can watch the setup tutorial. Basically, just go to Zybooks, enter this code. If you're unable to pay for it right now, because it is a little bit cheaper if you go through Zybooks than it is at least usually going through the bookstore. So I think the bookstore might have some access codes. You're more than welcome to go that route. If you'd rather wait, or if you need to wait for like financial aid checks to be mailed out, then you can just submit an email to Zybooks, support@zybooks.com, and they can usually give you a deferment, give you some time and access in the course before that check comes out. Technology requirements. So basically any laptop or desktop is acceptable. No Chromebooks or tablets. We need to be able to run Python 3. So basically any version of Python 3. I think it's at Python 3.6.2 right now if you're going to download that. So computer capable of running it, that's going to be any computer that's Mac OS 10 or Mac OS, Windows, or Linux. Additionally, you also need a high-speed internet connection. Do plan on using video lecture in this course, as well as accessing the ebook and accessing Moodle. You'll want to make sure that you have at least some form of access to high-speed internet. Final exam for this course is going to be due on Thursday, October 5th. So as we get closer to the final exam, I'll give you some more details about that. Alright, so what is this course all about? This course is an introduction to computer programming using a dynamically typed language. So that language for us is going to be Python. Topics include algorithm development, input-output, conditional statements, loops, functions, and the use of basic data structures. You'll see that those topics correspond almost one-to-one to the chapters that we're going to be going over in the book. So what are the course objectives? To use a disciplined process to design an algorithmic solution to a problem. Implement the basic elements of a program, including arithmetic and logical operators, functions, control structures, and basic data types in a dynamically typed language. Implement a top-down design using multiple functions. Use appropriate documentation standards in a program. These course objectives each map to a student learning outcome. These student learning outcomes, you can see that they're lettered and they're not necessarily going in the right order here, and that's because they come from ABET. ABET is an accrediting agency who accredits degree programs like the ones offered in our department. So currently, you may have heard a little bit about this during your orientation session, but currently, computer science and information systems are accredited by ABET. Our IT degree is still relatively new, so after we have ran it for about 6 years, we'll go up for ABET accreditation then, and I believe we're shooting to do that in 2021. So you can see in the matrix down here how these SLOs map to the COs. You'll also notice that some of them we're already getting prepared for that accreditation by making sure that we include the IT specific ABET requirements in here. I do want to note that I reserve the right to make changes to the syllabus, but if I do, I'll be sure to notify you, usually by email, sometimes by class announcement. And as you can see, this lives in a Google document, so you'll be able to see any changes I make reflected immediately. Communication. So if you're going to communicate with me, the best way is probably by email. And if you do communicate with me via email, please be sure to include the course in the subject line, so at least CSCI 135. Also be sure to include proper salutations, spell check your message to make sure you don't have any spelling or grammatical errors. That's just really important so that you come across as being professional. It's going to make a good impression on your other instructors, any of your fellow students that you're emailing, and also future employers. Phone is another good way to get a hold of me, so if you do call, go ahead and leave a voicemail. Be sure to include your name, course number, section, callback number, and a brief message. You can rest assured that any voicemail that you leave for me will be forwarded to me via email, so I can download that and I can get access to my voicemail even when I'm outside of the office. So you don't have to worry about, is he not going to get it until he gets back into the office. Okay, so grading. Where are the grades going to come from for this course? I use weighted grades, so I have 4 different categories that assignments will fall into. You can see that what's weighted the most is going to be programming assignments. So we're going to have 3 to 4 programming assignments this semester. These are generally they are longer assignments than what would be a lab assignment or a lab program. Okay, so those 3 or 4 are going to total up to 35% of your grade. The next category is labs, quizzes, discussions may fall in here if we have any discussions. And that's going to count for 25% of your grade. The final exam that we have at the end will count for 30%, and then homework will count for 10%. The grading scale, it's very standard for the university. It's a 10-point grading scale, so 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, and so on. You'll notice that in here, in the upper bounds of the ranges, I do award B pluses, C pluses, and D pluses. Student feedback. So what can you expect from me? All assignments will be graded within 5 business days of the due date and returned in Moodle. So I'll show you in the Moodle course tour how that you can find your grades in there. Emails will be answered by the end of the next business day. If you do not receive a response, please resend your message. every once in a while something may slip through, or I could have opened up an email and somebody comes in and grabs my attention for a little bit and I forget to come back to it. I promise I'm not trying to ignore you if that happens. Just resend your message. With that said, I'm actually usually pretty good at responding with emails. I do say that they'll be answered by the next business day because sometimes I get busy on the weekend. So if you send me an email on Friday, there's a chance that I might not respond till Monday. So just keep that in mind. If any of those response times need to change, such as if I'm going out of town or something like that, I'll be sure to let you know as soon as possible and ahead of time. Instructional activities. So in this class, that's going to consist of primarily reading, so reading out of the chapter, as well as lectures, which I plan to develop lecture videos. Assessments are going to be labs, quizzes, programming assignments. I'm sorry, don't have a midterm, so let me get rid of that. Final exam and homework. So basically the same categories from above. Due dates, I am strict about the due date. Unless stated otherwise, the assignment is going to be due on 11:59 p.m. at the Moodle server time, which exists in the Eastern time zone of the due date. Late assignments will not be accepted, so it's your responsibility to make sure that you get work in prior to the due date. If you are having trouble with the course assignments, make sure that you contact me and come in early. So like not the day it's due, but a few days ahead of time so that we can go ahead and work out any problems you're having so that you can complete the assignment successfully. Attendance for us, this is a distance learning course, so an absence is operationally defined as a missed online submission deadline. So such as a quiz, assignment, or discussion post, if you miss something like that, it counts as an absence. The next part relevant to us would be that university policy states that a grade of F may be assigned for any noted absences, excused or unexcused, in excess of 25% of regularly scheduled class meetings. So basically, you don't want to miss more than 25% of the assigned assignments, which kind of makes sense because if you miss that much, you're probably not going to be able to pass the course anyways. Make up for missed exams or assignments will not be allowed without prior approval from the instructor. And that's only when the absence is excused, so some sort of a verification. If you let me know ahead of time, I'm usually pretty flexible to work with. Please don't email me an hour or two before something's due letting me know that something came up. Be proactive about that and let me know at least a day or two ahead of time that you're having a problem or you foresee that you're not going to be able to turn something in due to a good reason. So classroom code of conduct, this really boils down to just making sure that you respect each other. This part doesn't actually apply to us since it's an online course. We don't really mind if you're using your headphones or cell phones as you're completing the course activities, but the online code of conduct does apply to us. So as we're having discussions or if we're on the Slack chat, I do want for everyone to just basically be respectful of each other. Try not to overuse text speak. Of course, it's definitely acceptable, especially in the Slack environment as you're trying to convey messages, maybe putting LOL at the end or something like that. Make sure you read your post for clarity and accuracy. Sometimes it's really easy to put a post out really quick and you don't realize it, but maybe autocorrect got you or your mind typed something or a word differently than how you envisioned saying it. So, okay, academic integrity. Cheating and plagiarism will not be tolerated in this course, so submitting all or portions of someone else's work as your own without giving them proper credit is plagiarism and potentially cheating. So course policy states that any offense of plagiarism or cheating will result in a grade of FX for the course and will be referred to the university's academic integrity officer. So what is a grade of FX? What does that mean? FX is an internal marker for us here at the university to let us know that the F was earned as a result of academic integrity. Now, I say that it's a marker for us internally because externally, such as when you request a transcript to go to graduate school or you request a transcript for your future employer, the X is not part of that. So it just shows up as an F. There's no indication of why you received that F, if it was academic integrity or some other reason. One other thing to mention here with an FX is that it is not eligible for repeat grade forgiveness. So if you get an FX, you can't replace the grade when you retake the course. If you just earn regular everyday D or F, then you can definitely retake the course, and if you do better, that new grade will replace the old grade. Okay, so you can read more about the academic integrity process from the Code of Student Conduct handbook. Here's some excerpts from it. I guess last two things I want to talk about are disability accommodations. So if you have a verifiable disability, please get into our Office of Disability Services and get that documented with them. They will give you a form that you can give me that contains the accommodations that I can make. So until then, I can't make any accommodations until after I receive that form. Last thing down here are just some links to help you out. Just general links for the university. If you're new to online courses, you may want to check out this distance learning support services. Also got just general things like the library in here, counseling services, tech support if you run into issues from student computing services. Here's their help desk if you want to call their number. Registrar, FinAid. Um, the academic integrity officer if you need to speak with him, disability services, dean of students, good resource for you if you need any help dealing with things of that nature. All right, so with that said, next video is going to be the Moodle course tour. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Thank you.